Welcome to Our Girl Relationships. We talk about the problems people face in their day to day lives. Let's start with the video. Our family heirloom is a bracelet. It is made of white gold and has diamonds in it. It is really pretty. My great grandfather gifted it to my great grandmother, father's side. She passed it on to my grandmother, her daughter. My grandmother was supposed to pass it to her daughter, but since she only had one son, she gave it to my mother. When I was younger, I really loved the bracelet. I would often ask my mother to let me play with it, and often she would let me. One day, she was busy. I asked her to let me play with it. She told me to wait and that she would give it to me after some time. I was too impatient and went to her room and took the bracelet out and played with it for some time. After I was done playing, I kept it back. Later, when my mother checked, she could not find the bracelet anywhere. She asked me if I had taken it. I told her that I had already kept it in its proper place after I was done playing with it. She searched the whole house, but could not find it anywhere. No matter how much I insisted that I had put the bracelet in its proper place, everybody blamed me for it. They said I was the one who lost it. They continued to blame me for so long that I ended up accepting. When my grandmother came to know that the family heirloom was lost, she was devastated. She even refused to talk to me for a very long time. After I lost the bracelet, I started feeling very guilty. I was guilty about losing it until recently when this happened. Just for context, my sister was a single child for a very long time. She is 10 years older than me. She spent 10 years being the darling princess of our parents. But after I was born, the attention she received decreased. So she was jealous of me ever since we were young. She would also bully me when our parents were not looking or they were not home. I still remember growing up, I was terrified of her. So, my sister was supposed to get married a few weeks ago. I was never really very close to my sister, so I just went on the day of the wedding. Even though my mother tried to connect my sister and me on several occasions, she failed. Before the wedding, she kept on insisting that I went back home at least a few days before, but I refused and went on the exact day of the wedding. Also, another reason why I did not want to attend the wedding was because my sister was getting married to my ex-boyfriend. When I arrived, I saw that almost everything was ready. I went to my sister's wedding room so that I could at least congratulate her. After congratulating, my sister told me to help her out a bit. I did not mind and started helping her. I was almost done when I saw a jewelry box on the dresser. I looked inside the box and saw a bracelet there. When I looked closely, I saw that it was the same bracelet, the family heirloom. Everyone accused me of losing. I could not believe it. All these years, I had been feeling guilty thinking that I had lost the bracelet, but there it was in my sister's jewelry box. As soon as my sister saw the bracelet in my hand, she snatched it away. I confronted her and said that it was the same bracelet that was lost many years ago. She denied it. She said that it was not the same bracelet and that it had the same design. I was still in doubt, so I called my mother, and after my mother saw it, she realized that it was the long-lost family heirloom. She was shocked when I told her that it was in my sister's jewelry box. I asked my sister why she was hiding it and was denying that it was the real family heirloom. She slowly began saying that she was the one who stole the bracelet a long time ago. She said that ever since I was born, I made her life miserable. I took away all the attention that she used to receive and became the most loved child. She also said that my mother never let her use the bracelet, but she let me play with it whenever I wanted. So she stole it. Almost everyone heard everything that she said. Since my sister wanted a small wedding, most of the guests were family members and a few close friends. They all came in when they heard that the lost bracelet was found. I was really angry and called her out for being a total bitch. She was angry and even told that the only reason she was getting married to Mark, my ex boyfriend, because she hated me and wanted me to lose someone dear to me. Everyone was speechless. No one ever expected that something like that would happen or that she was doing something like this. After she told the truth, Mark broke off the wedding and everyone started walking out of the wedding venue. My sister again started blaming me and said that I was the reason why her wedding broke. But Mother cut her off and said that she was the one who destroyed her own wedding and that I did nothing wrong. I was really angry and left, as I was in no mood for any more drama. After that day, every time my sister sees me, she will start taunting me. She also tells everyone that I destroyed her life. At this point, I cannot help but think that she's right. Am I the a-hole for destroying my sister's wedding? A few days after the drama at the wedding, Mark called me and said that he wanted to meet me. I was not really sure, but I agreed. You know why he wanted to meet me? Because he wanted to get back together with me. He said that when he saw me at the wedding, he felt butterflies in his stomach. He said that he was still in love with me and asked me to be his girlfriend again. I was really angry. I told him that I already had a boyfriend and had already moved on a long time ago. I left the cafe after that. I really cannot tolerate people like Mark. At first, he dated me, then broke up with me and dated my sister. And after he broke off the wedding with my sister, he was back to being in love with me. Anyways, I'll let you all know if anything new happened. First of all, I want to thank you all for everything. You all have been a great source of comfort and encouragement for me. I'm really grateful to you all for making me feel less shitty about myself. It is really great to have people listen to your story and encourage you, even though we don't really know each other in real life. I guess this is the real beauty of these Reddit communities. Everyone is just so wonderful. Many of you kept on asking about the family heirloom. So after the whole incident at the wedding, my mother took the family heirloom from my sister, even though she tried to stop it. According to my sister, since she was going to get the family heirloom anyways, because she's the oldest, there was no need for my mother to take it back. And you know what my mother did? She took the bracelet from my sister and gave it to me in front of everyone else and said that I was the one who truly deserved it. My sister was red with anger. She started yelling and shouting, but I left before she could do anything. I will keep you all updated if anything happens in future. Other than that, I'm doing fine. A few days ago, I attended a family dinner. I did not want to attend it at first, but then again, my mother kept on insisting that I went, so I did. But as soon as I entered the house, I saw my sister. I was shocked. The only reason I agreed to go to the family dinner was because my mother ensured that my sister would not be there. She had an important meeting. I asked my mother why my sister was there. So basically, she lied to me because she wanted to bring both me and my sister together. I was really annoyed. I mean, I understand that my mother wanted us to act like sisters, but she always ignored the way my sister treated me. Throughout the dinner, I ignored my sister, even though she tried to provoke me by making small talk. My mother noticed it and said that I was being really mean by not responding to my sister. I did not respond. I am really done with all the crap related to my sister. She tried to frame me wrongly, then tried to get married to my ex just because she wanted to hurt me, and now she was trying to provoke me again. I just ignored her and left after having my dinner, even though my mother asked me to stay the night. I was in no mood to argue, so I lied that I had some work to do and left. NTA, no! You are doing just fine. You did not do anything wrong. I know it is easy for you to feel that way, but I want you to know that your sister is the one who is really at fault. She was the one who started all this. Instead of being a mature older sister, she became a jealous older sibling. It is not your fault that she decided to take the wrong path. I mean, she was the one who chose to steal the family heirloom and also seduce your ex-boyfriend. There is nothing wrong with what you did. NTA, you are not the a-hole. Your sister was the one who sabotaged her own wedding. There is nothing wrong with confronting your sister about the family heirloom. For almost all your life, you have carried the guilt because you thought that you lost the family heirloom, even though your sister stole it. You have the right to clear your name. There is nothing wrong. To be honest, I think that you did the right thing by confronting your sister. NTA, you did the right thing by confronting your sister. She wrongly framed you for losing the family heirloom even though she was the one who stole it. You have been feeling guilty for ages. It is fine to confront your sister. Also, about the wedding, you have nothing to feel bad about. It was all your sister's fault. As a kid, we may often feel jealous of younger siblings, and that's fine. So the bracelet was not a big problem. But the fact that she decided to marry your ex because she wanted to hurt you just proved that she is so damned immature and childish. I, 25 female, love the Rocky Horror Picture Show. My friends and I like to have movie nights together, and we had a friend who hadn't seen it, so we chose Rocky Horror for tonight's movie a few days ago. My boyfriend, 22, sometimes tags along. He said he had never seen the movie either and wanted to join. He's pretty sheltered and grew up really religious. He still is pretty religious, but not as much as he once was. So it didn't surprise me. Knowing that he would probably be off put by how sexual the movie can get, I warned him that he might not like it and some of the things might make him uncomfortable. He said he's perfectly okay with anything he might see, as obviously it's not straight up porn, so he joined in tonight. Admittedly, I was a bit shocked that he was okay with it because he's a bit of a prude. Not saying it negatively, obviously, I don't mind that about him. But he knows himself best, so I didn't grill him on it. Apparently, he was not okay with anything he might see, because he was off put by each and every piece of lingerie and anything remotely sexual that he saw. I could tell he wasn't having a good time, but it's one of my favorite movies, so I didn't let his bad time ruin my good one. I thought at first maybe he was just shocked, as again, he's pretty sheltered, but when we were driving home, he got kind of pissed off at me that I showed him the movie. I told him that I warned him that the movie is about sex and it's on him to do his research if he's worried about a movie's content. I also reminded him that he chose to come along and watch and that it's not like I made him watch it. I feel like if I wanted to show him the movie, it would have been more appropriate to give him a rundown, but he decided to come watch it and told me he was going to be okay with it. However, he continued to say that he felt uncomfortable and that I should have told him just how dirty it was. I told him he's an adult, and if he can't handle an R-rated movie, then it's on him to do his research. He dropped me off at home and told me he's still upset and it's only been an hour or so. But I do feel bad that he didn't have a good time. But I'm also pissed that he made it my responsibility to tell him each and every thing that happens in the movie that he might not like. AITA? The movie is dirty? It's a bit suggestive at best. This lingerie-clad musical isn't exactly risque these days. It's his own fault he decided to be okay with it and then changed his mind or refused to do proper research. If he gets offended that freaking easily, Quite frankly, it sounds like he didn't deserve to see the sexiest man alive, Tim freaking Curry, in one of his most iconic roles. Damn it, Janet, you're NTA. NTA. He said he wanted to join. And that movie has one of the all-time great movie soundtracks. Couldn't he at least appreciate that? Maybe he would have enjoyed it more at a midnight showing at a theater with the popcorn and toast and everything. Maybe he would have enjoyed it more at a midnight showing at a theater with popcorn and toast and everything. But maybe you don't have that where you live. My boyfriend of 2.5 years needed a place to stay for 3 weeks while his house was being renovated. He has full custody of his daughter, 11 years old, Hannah. To cut right to the chase, I've been to their home several times and it is not dirty by any means. It's always clean. So why they feel it necessary to never, not once, pick up a damn broom or sponge to clean up messes they've made in my home makes absolutely no sense to me. My boyfriend has a habit of dirtying every pan in the house it takes to make a single meal and then just lets them pile up in the sink or on the counter stove. He will redo their laundry 8 times because he leaves it in the washer until it stinks. Hannah's clothing, socks, pants, shirts, strewn all over my house because she takes them off and tosses them wherever they land. She wears PJ shorts and tank tops and underneath absolutely everything, so as soon as she comes in the door from school, she just takes off her clothes and tosses them. I think I've seen my boyfriend clean a single fork since being here. So a few days ago, I lost my shit a bit and told them either they start cleaning up or they could leave. I told them both before I left for work that my sink had better not be filled with dishes when I get home from work because it was my day to cook and I'm not cleaning dishes before cooking. I walk in a half hour ago, both had been home for over an hour, and my sink is completely filled. I flipped the hell out and told them to pack it up and leave immediately. My boyfriend started protesting, saying he simply forgot and rushed to the sink, and I told him it was too late and to get out because I couldn't stomach seeing either of them right now. So they left. But I'm being told I'm an AH and too harsh because they simply forgot to clean. AITA? Just a quick ad here. No, I did not go from 0 to 100 without talking to them about it first in a calm fashion. It's been 2 weeks, and I had asked them several times in the first week to please help me out and pick up after themselves. Because it was frustrating that I had to pick up after them immediately following me returning from work. Neither of them have cleaned at all, despite me asking several times. This whole story sounded like the household chore version of I'm sorry you're offended. He didn't want to do the dishes because he realized that you're right, but simply because he realized that he messed up, and his ass and his daughter will end up on the street if he doesn't do it. He simply didn't take you serious until it was too late. Not a good look for any of them, but mostly for your boyfriend. NTA, and I'm fairly sure it would have just continued as usual if you hadn't pulled the ripcord. NTA. I can appreciate that short-term guests don't do major cleaning, mopping, etc., although I would volunteer. I can also appreciate that they pile their stuff, clothing for example, because it is a temporary stay and not everything has a home. However, they can keep their stuff together and out of the way, not waste water and electricity rewashing clothing, and they can certainly do dishes and clean up after themselves. Your edit is important because you didn't just kick them out. You told them to clean up, then gave an ultimatum, and then stuck to it. Your boyfriend didn't take you seriously, and that is actually the big flag. You just got a glimpse as to what it would be like to live with this man. How many of us have stories of a partner, or kid, or classmate who doesn't listen, lets others do the work, ignores polite requests, then gaslights when there are consequences? I could have gotten it done in time, and then acts like you are the dramatic one. It's just dishes. Your boyfriend doesn't respect your home or your time, and good for you for standing up for yourself. But realize that living with him will be exactly like this. NTA, you set a boundary, told them what would happen if they crossed that boundary, and then reminded them. If they can manage to keep their own house clean, then they were purposely not cleaning yours. And that begs the question, why? Either way, actions have consequences. Your boyfriend, at least, is a full grown adult able to remember his responsibilities on his own. And again, he manages just fine in his own home.